Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.
Hello and welcome back to the Local Women Business Podcast. My name is Jenna Hill. I am the founder of Fia Investments, and I am really excited to have with me today Lisa Jane Gadd from Gadd Health and Wellness. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited?
But nervous, but sure, that's good, isn't it?
That's good. Funny, whenever I messaged you about coming on, what was it you said?
It wasn't even me, it was Ben.
Stop!
He was like, I'm replying to this because you're not waiting on that.
Well, Ben said that it's good to step out of your comfort zone. So Ben pushed you forward. That's so good.
That's him all over. Always takes my phone to push me into the opportunity. But then I actually seen something from someone had shared about Davina McCall this morning. It was front and center. And I was like, do you know what? Yes, I need to be front and center more. I need to just take opportunities because, as he always says, I am the face of our business in it being female and I'm the female.
Yeah.
Ben's not. So I just need to, stop being a wee scaredy cat. Get myself out there.
So for anybody that doesn't know, what is Gadd Health and Wellness?
So a health and wellness facility, but we are a female focused on Ravenhill Road, and we help busy working women with their health, well-being and energy. From strength training to lots of different recovery modalities, wellness modalities to really help you obviously look after yourself rather than just go to the gym and work out really hard. We have lots there to make sure that you're recovering harder. We know that busy working women are highly stressed, running after everybody, not really looking after themselves. So everything is there to put you as the priority. I often refer to the champagne fountain. So there's one glass at the top, maybe 3, 4, 5 on the second layer, and then lots at the bottom. And when the top glass is empty, nothing's pouring down. And a lot of the time we spend at least on second layer where we're maybe looking after our children, our partner, our inner circle people. But how often are we filling up our own cup?
I love that champagne fountain analogy. I'm so stealing that. If you hear me using that, you know it came from you.
Just
but
filling
it is
up my
quite
top
true.
glass.
Yeah, it is so true because I know for me as a mum, it's sorting out the house, sorting out the kids, helping Carl, and then everything else comes after that. And even whenever we have staff members, you are last on the list to get anything done.
Yeah. And you can sometimes think that it's selfish to look after yourself first, but let's face it, we're better people when we actually look after ourselves, right? Yes, the house feels good when it's tidy, and in a way that's kind of looking after yourself because it's clear mind, clear space, all those things. But at the same time, still maybe doing it for someone else. Can you sit down and have a cup of tea before or maybe after? And it's those little moments sometimes that people think again, well, I shouldn't really do that, shouldn't take those 5 minutes, but that just adds more stress into your stress bucket, is that high expectation of self when really as women, we should be being a lot more in our feminine and being rather than doing everything all of the time. So it's really trying to slow down, and you're so much better of a person when you're in that thinking state rather than just always doing, running about, trying to be creative. It's in stillness that a lot of our ideas come to us, sitting on the beach or looking at the sky or just sitting having a coffee or a tea. In those moments we become better people, and I feel like as women we're trying to do so much that we don't fill up that cup.
Funny, that is something I have really started to take more time for, is actually putting a block in my diary for whether it be creative time or admin time or even just phone away time, because I am naturally not a very creative person. But I find if I get out for a walk or go somewhere totally new, go to a completely different surrounding or setting, maybe go to the beach for a walk, something like that, I will get so many more ideas or be able to think through a problem in one of our businesses so much more.
I wouldn't say that you're naturally not a creative person. You just don't allow yourself enough time to be that creative person.
Probably very true.
It's there, as you just said. You just need to slow down for it to arise, which is also perfect for one of the things that we're about to add to Gadd, but we can talk on that.
Yes, I know. I can't wait for you to tell me about it. So in terms of you and Ben then, you obviously have the facility together. Yep. How does that work? I have a business with my husband, and it's safe to say that it causes a lot of controversy in our house. How do you guys find it?
We're very different. Our business logo is the yin and yang, and everything we do and are, I guess, is built off that. So Ben is very much a yang. He is all go, pinball brain, ideas this, thinking that, growth next, whatever. doesn't stop. I say I'm monotone, but we've kind of given it a new label that I walk the middle road. So a lot of things don't really massively excite me, but I also don't get really stressed or really down or anything like that. Everything's just okay all of the time. I do be happy about things, but even in stuff that I do myself and people are like, that's amazing. And I'm like, that's cool, you know? And like sometimes even when people ask about the business, I'm like, it's cool. And I'm like, no, actually, it's really cool. Like, it's really cool. But yeah, it's just like we're so different in personality. Sometimes I eye roll about 800 times a day whenever he just doesn't stop talking, stop bringing ideas. But obviously, we're only together 4 years, so it's not even actually that long. We spent a lot of time together for the last maybe 2-3 years, which showed us that we could do this together, because if you're working together, you're living together, everything's together, it's a lot. And to be able to stand someone all day, every day and not fall out is pretty hard. Like, doesn't matter who they are, whether it's your parent, if you were to work with them, or your partner. And there is a little funny rule, it doesn't matter what it's around, but if you have seen someone naked, they'll probably not listen to you. And you'll find that like your kids don't listen to you, your husband doesn't listen to you, maybe your parents, things like that. And we say that even in the health and fitness industry, is usually like it's very hard to like coach your mom or coach your partner or anything. So yeah, sometimes we're just not listening to each other, which is fine. But we do lots of different things between like weekly reviews on both our relationship and our business. As I said, we did spend a lot of time together. We lived in like a 3-bed apartment with other guys whenever we lived in Saudi Arabia. Shouldn't actually really say that I lived with a load of guys because that's illegal. But and then we worked together out there as well. So that gave us a real fine tune. Okay, we already work together, we already live together, we already do everything together, have our days off together. But one thing we did implement a wee while ago was to have a day off separate each. So I would work all day Monday and Ben would have Monday off. He would work all day Wednesday and I would have Wednesday off. Everything's got really busy again about a month ago, so that doesn't happen anymore. But it definitely will come back around to that. And I think, yeah, again, time on your own to fill up your own cup, rather than it be, hey, I want to go for this place or do this thing. Do you mind if I go, when you're both off maybe together? And even then, how do we both have a day off together if the business is open 6 days a week? So I think, yeah, time on your own is important. Reflections, doing things. The weekly relationship review that we do is Fanos. So how are you feeling? You give an affirmation for the other person. What are your needs? Ownership for something and anything you're struggling on. And that for us as a couple is really important, because the business stuff can really creep into that sometimes. And then it's like really reflecting on, no, but is this a personal struggle? Like you can say you're really struggling with a client, or how this is turning up, or client drop-offs or anything like that. But that's not a personal struggle. So it's really trying to pull that back into being, no, this is a relationship here as well as a business partnership. I think the hardest part is honestly going to bed and having ideas. And like, I was just dozing off last night and Ben said to me, I can't sleep, my brain's so busy. And I was like, turn on the light and write it down. Because yeah, as I said, his brain's like a ping pong machine and I'm just like middle road. Just, it's okay. Just write it down.
I love that you have that reset.
Yeah.
Do you know, even doing the Fanos at, I presume you do it on like a Sunday or a Monday, do
Sunday.
it? Yeah. Just having that opportunity to reset and start the week with new intentions, that if there has been an issue or something has gone wrong, that you can reset the week both in work and in relationship.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like saying your needs for the week. Like sometimes that's like, I need you to, or I need to prep food better this week so that we can make sure that we're fueled, not going hungry, not being anxious, whatever. Or that could be, I need to make sure I'm going to bed at 9:30 and actually getting good quality sleep. Ben is up at 5:15 for morning classes. I do evenings more so. I'm not a morning girly. And again, that's identifying, it's, you know, your SWOT analysis, like where are your strengths and weaknesses. Not a morning girly means Ben has to be a morning man.
He has to be the morning
Do you know
guy.
what I mean? So it's, yeah, I think always just understanding each other as people and then each other in the business as well, and really identifying strengths and weaknesses, whatever was needed. However the business changes and grows, like I do morning classes 2 days a week, because he'll also work until 8:30 at night due to corporate stuff sometimes. So it's like he can't do every morning because he's not bulletproof. So again, what is the needs of the business right now.
So take me back, because you've mentioned obviously Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in the role that you have, in the industry that you have, and with Gadd Health and Wellness?
I guess everything is like one thing leads into the other. So I danced as a child. So I had an interest in sport in that sense. Kind of grew up dancing, I think from 7 to about 13, I retired technically, but then I still done like different dance things. I remember going to the gym. I must have been about 16, pure gym, had registered my account as if I was my mum's age. That definitely doesn't sit whenever you go in and you're like 16, but no one ever questioned it. So yeah, just had like a wee bit of interest in the gym. And then once I finished high school, I went straight out of GCSEs into beauty therapy actually, but I done beauty science. So I would have done like dermatology, microbiology, chemistry, all those different things. But even right down to like the massage therapy we done, like our teacher was really good that she would have taught like abdominal massage, which I know is, I want to say is missing in massage a lot of the time. We're seeing it a wee bit at the minute with like lymphatic. So even just like trying to support people's digestion through abdominal massage is something that we weren't really seeing there for a long time. So those things even still come into the stuff I talk to my clients about now. So that would have been until I was probably about 18. Then I got into a relationship with a guy who was studying to be a personal trainer. And when we split up, I was, let's say, heartbroken. Really wasn't. On reflection, I was just like, I'm going to be the girl you should never have let go of. So then I started training, and that would have been, so I was 19. I think I didn't qualify as a personal trainer until I was like 23. So I just started going to the gym, didn't really know what I was doing. And one of the personal trainers came up to me and was like, you should do a bodybuilding show. And I was like, do you think? Really had absolutely no experience at this point, let's face it. But I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So then just kind of started getting into what was bodybuilding, but really didn't kind of get into it until later years. Did do competitions then. So that was 2015. I done my first show, and it just kind of, next show, next season. And I competed 7 times. Did kind of lose my health along the way. So on my last show prep, which was 2019, my hair was falling out. I had no menstrual cycle for 10 months. And I had absolutely no energy. Like, I was very light. I'm not even going to use numbers because I find that quite a scary reference when people hear numbers. They're like, oh, I want to be that if she was that and whatever. But let's say I dieted for 42 weeks, so a long period of time. And I took 25 kilo off in that time, whatever that number looks like. However, based on like how depleted my body was, like I was literally using steroids to like get up. And I remember like lying on the floor coaching at this stage because I had no energy. I had to time my caffeine for every like 4 hours just to have energy to get through my day. And like I really wasn't eating very much. Now that season was actually one of my healthier seasons, so you can only imagine how other ones would have been. I did end up with very much an eating disorder through this, but I was, by the last show, I'd kind of got control of that. It was just then the health was really taking a battering, and I was just done out. Because you're so susceptible, like your body is like screaming for nutrition. On the back end of that show, I started binge eating again. I was just like, I need food, I need calories, I need whatever. And I went through an emotional time. So I was like up at 3 a.m. in the morning, like nailing sugary stuff, like whatever I could, just to like curb the emotion, keep myself to sleep. And then I gained those 20 kilos back in 10 weeks. So it took me 42 to lose 25. And because you're so susceptible, and I was so inflamed from the food I was eating, I had 20 back on in 10 weeks. Now, that's not healthy either, obviously.
That's scary. Yeah. Like how long it took to lose it, but how quick it was to gain it.
Yeah, so quick. And like that's why there is like people talk now about like reverse dieting, which yes, totally makes sense. It's, slowly bringing your calories back up. But at the same time, your body needs nutrition back in, because if you've been dieting for such a long period of time, then obviously your body's under a lot of stress. The loss of period, like how I typically teach people about that, is like there's 2 things either going on that your body is like aware of, and that's either a famine or a war. So it's like, well, this isn't the time to reproduce, so we're just going to turn off all those hormones to keep us safe from being able to reproduce. So I'll just turn your menstrual cycle off. And people are like, happy days, no menstrual cycle. But your menstrual cycle obviously has so many health benefits. So off the back of adding on the weight I was so inflamed, so sore, still felt like crap as much as I did when I was also very light. And yeah, I just kind of started really trying to look after myself. And then I met Ben, and based on where you come into the fitness industry, depends as to who you know of, the things that you do. Obviously, I'm on the bodybuilding path. The people that Ben knew, I'd never heard of. Luke Lehman, Owen Lacey, all those people, they're all what we would call like Charles Poliquinites. So they're people that have been educated under Charles Poliquin, who is a really well-respected, highly educated guy in the industry who's no longer here, but like he has his own supplement range, he has his own education board, all different things like that, and it's all real health focused. So whenever I met Ben, he was like, God, I can't believe like how depleted and how malnourished your body is, and all the things you've been doing and all the stress you've been putting in on it. And I'm like, stress? What are you talking about? But it's also like by dieting so hard and then also binging and eating all the sugary stuff, my body was under so much stress too. So we just kind of went on this journey where he tried to coach me for a while. As I said, if you've seen The Naked, they don't listen to you. But we did, get my health back on pretty good track. Not to say that I'm not still adrenally kind of burnt out a bit. It looks all well and good, maybe standing on a bikini, winning 7 shows, etc. But when you look at the now me, 6 years after bodybuilding, and I'm still pretty wrecked. Don't get me wrong, opening a business is a different kind of stress.
Opening a business will do that to you.
Yeah. But at the same time, like we opened the business because of all of the things that we've experienced. So there's lots of different tools and modalities, and the ethos of everything we do is not just working out, but recovering as well, so that you're giving your body all that TLC and really supporting it in healthy ways. Like there's a reason behind why we have each and everything that we do within the facility to support your health.
So on that note, tell us a bit about the facility. What type of women do you have coming in? What type of modalities do you have? How does it work? Like if I was to walk in tomorrow, what am I going to see?
If you come straight in through the front door, you're actually straight into the gym. It used to be an old GP surgery, so we've done a little bit of construction work to open that up into a gym.
A little bit or a lot?
Actually, not that much. We only knocked down 2 brick walls.
Okay.
The funny thing is as well that it was actually my GP surgery as a child.
Oh, that's really nice though. If you're in any way nostalgic, that's nice.
Yeah. So the room I would have been diagnosed with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, which isn't, it's kind of like a plaster term for digestive stress, probably from actual stress or whatever's kind of going on. That room is now a functioning room in our business that helps people deviate from those things. And we've had the GP back down, and he's left a really cool message on one of the walls that says, I'm kind of going off topic, but the easiest job in the NHS is to be a bad GP and the hardest is to be a good one, and signed his name and the years that he worked there, which is really cool, obviously, in the sense that everything we do is health promoting. So ideally trying to keep you away from the health service by looking after yourself. So anyway, back to what goes on. So we've got the gym, and we would obviously do like our warm-ups and our strength training in there, but we've also got like a cardiovascular room as well. We help women with strength training. They're usually between 35 and 55. They've probably tried it all. Slimming World, HIIT, lots of different diets, lots of different training modalities. And it's not to say a lot of the training hasn't been good for them, but a burpee or a box jump hasn't been performed in our gym till this day. Okay. And that is because obviously the high output of energy that one takes to perform, and 2 can drain from the body when these women are pretty burnt out. As I said, they're usually like busy working women. They might be moms, they might be wives, they might own their own business or have a high corporate position in a business. They really need what we call, what Luke Lehman has coined as least mode rather than beast mode. So it's still high intensity training in the muscle, but it's going to stimulate the muscle rather than annihilate the muscle. So the only crawling that should happen is probably on the gym floor, teaching you to maybe bear crawl, different things like that, rather than you have to crawl out of the gym. You shouldn't be so sore that tomorrow you can't get up or sit in the toilet or walk up the stairs, because let's face it, most of our clients want a bit of fat loss. And if you're so sore that you can't do those things, that's obviously not going to benefit fat loss. So
absolutely,
our training is very much for the everyday woman in the sense of not causing too much stress. We have all sorts of clients with back pain, knee pain, fibromyalgia, prepping for surgeries, endometriosis, stoma bags, lots of different things kind of going on in our gym. But the program, you know, there's regressions and progressions for every kind of person. Some of the girls are very athletic. There's a camogie teacher who also is a CEO. So you can tell like she's probably pretty fit if she's going to be a coach there. But at the same time, she still needs lots of stress support. So if I come in, bring her in, train her really, really hard, she'll enjoy it. But if I train her so hard that she can't go and coach, she can't go into work the next day for a meeting, she's walking like a duck, probably not very useful.
No, you're going to completely deplete somebody's energy. And somebody like that with a really high powered, fast job and then lots of fast activities on the outside does not need a good grilling in the gym.
And even obviously in knowing the businesses that you work with, you know, a lot of the stuff that we do incorporate are kind of David Gray movements, which I know that Fix It use. So we would really look at like real strong, healthy hamstrings. She has had ACL surgeries. So, you know, we're still covering those things in our facility, even though that we're not typically working with athletes other than maybe a few previous athletes. They're not athletes anymore, but, you know, they've still had those surgeries and it's really getting their body strong, healthy and bulletproof, I guess, for aging. You know, the amount of people that fall as they get older, we're trying to make sure that if they fall, they're strong enough, one, to get themselves back up, they recover quicker, all those kind of things. Our cardiovascular training we do at the end of every session, and it's not about calorie burn. It's about getting the heart rate nice and high, dropping it, and that's just obviously getting your heart healthy. Can it push? Can it pull back? Can it push? Can it pull back? And then we have a little serenity garden, which we go out to and do our cool down out there. So just really calming the nervous system back down. We don't like our clients leaving after a workout like real huffy puffy in that fight or flight state. So really just regulating their nervous system, taking a couple of breaths. We'll finish with a lovely hug at the end. And sometimes clients have commented if coaches come in and covered that they haven't made them hug themselves and they're really disappointed. So they've all just stood in the kitchen hugging each other or hugging themselves, looking at each other as if to say they forgot. So yeah, I think a lot of clients kind of actually talk about that and talk about how we go to the garden and we take those breaths and how it's very different. We then have a multi-studio, which we host our own podcast from. We have a library in there. We use as our waiting room. We've got different therapists and stuff that rent that space as well. It will also be used as like a decompression room for our new treatment coming in, which is a flotation therapy tank. If you have no idea what that is, it's basically like a massive egg. It's 2.6 meters long by 1.8 wide.
Oh, it's big.
Oh, it's big. It takes up that whole room.
Oh my goodness, because I have been in the room. We were chatting about this before because I have been doing acupuncture in Gadd, which has been amazing and has been a huge benefit to me. Yeah. So it is a big room and it takes up the whole room.
Yep, other than a shower. The shower is literally like in the corner and you will get out of the tank and into the shower within a few steps because it's so big. Ideally, we would have actually put it upstairs, but one, between the fact the tank is already pretty heavy, then it is filled with 500 kilo of salt and water, and it wouldn't go up our stairs. So we had to move our practitioners up the stairs, and the float tank is going downstairs in that case.
And tell us, what is the benefits of flotation therapy?
Talking about that creativity and sitting in the stillness, it is literal stillness. So the idea is that the tank lid closes over, doesn't lock, promise. I know a lot of people obviously struggle with claustrophobia. So the tank door just closes down. You can push it, literally just push it, and it'll open up on hydraulics basically, and it will open itself. So if you have any trouble, you can even keep it open. But the idea is that would close down. There would be no lights, no sound, and you're floating in water. And because of the 500 kilos of salt, your body literally just floats. When you sit your bum down, you're fine. But as soon as you try and lift your bum up and you lie back, you're literally just chill. Just chill. There is a little head support that just helps because for some people, you know, depending on different postures of the shoulders and stuff, it can be a wee bit uncomfortable. And I would say that it probably takes until your third float to really learn to float. And that's like switching off the mind, switching off the senses. The temperature of the water isn't body temperature, but skin temperature. So you shouldn't really feel that there's water there. I often fall asleep, to be honest. So it is, for some people, it's just like that wee hiding space where they can go and shut their eyes for an hour and have absolutely no one disturb them. or it's that thinking space where, again, all your senses are shut down. I think it's 90% of your nervous system comes down to senses. So all you've got is that last 10%, which is probably the thoughts that are happening. You've obviously no sound, no vision, no nothing to disturb or to track your brain off in a different direction. It is good for basically everything. As I said, obviously with a 90% of sensory deload. If you have any conditions, any pain in the body, it's complete weightlessness. I actually approached a girl yesterday who will be like 8 months pregnant, maybe 7 months pregnant by the time the tank is completely fitted and ready for use. And I've invited her down just to kind of get like a testimony. I've seen loads of people pregnant floating, but just, for our clients to know that it's safe. And she's got pelvic girdle pain. So I was thinking like it would be perfect for her. Ideally, for most people, you'd be floating on your back. It obviously depends as to where you are in pregnancy, as to how safe that would be for you, and obviously checking with your physician to make sure. But we would provide a bit of a float for you, so kind of like a pregnancy pillow, I guess.
Oh,
but,
yes.
like a pool noodle. And you would just kind of float using that in whatever position feels good for you. So you could put it between the leg and lie the bump on it if you wish. You can lie on your belly with it under your shoulders, anything like that. So it'll be cool to see pregnant people obviously using that as a tool as well to create that weightlessness. And I have heard and seen people say that if you're doing it pregnant, you really connect with your baby, because obviously your body's then surrounded in water just like theirs, and you can like really feel them kick and move a lot more. So yeah, it'd be cool to see how that goes. But PTSD, things like that, brain injuries, any kind of spinal issues, honestly, it's available for everybody. And as long as you feel comfortable getting in, you can keep the light on if you wish, you can keep the door on, you can keep some sound on. It's just making it personal for you. But I definitely think you need more than one try to say, okay, this isn't for me. Definitely like 3. So we'll be launching with a pre-sale of 3 to make sure people kind of get that, okay, number 1 was okay, it was nice, it was good, but number 2, I'm maybe learning a bit more how to relax into this. Like the first time I ever done it, I was like this the whole time. I don't know why, but like just pulling my neck forward, I think trying to keep my ears or something out of the water, even though I had the float.
Yes.
But then by the third one, it's that real relax and able to like open up the arms, and still fell asleep like that. It was great.
I am really, really excited to try it. I actually can't wait to give it a go. I signed up on the mailing list last night for it, completely coincidentally.
There you go. And then upstairs, as you said, we've got acupuncture, kinesiology, cranial sacral therapy, massage and stretch therapy.
Amazing. It is a complete health and wellness sphere.
Yeah.
All
have you been
under one
upstairs
roof.
yet?
No, I haven't.
I
Only
don't think
downstairs.
we've been in whenever you've been in. So the other 2 rooms upstairs, we have sauna therapy, just traditional hot rocks, and then red light and near infrared therapy panel. So a lot of the time people will have their infrared built in their sauna, but we've separated the 2. One, so it means that you can do a red light session without having to get your clothes off, technically. It is best exposed to skin, but it also means that our panel is hotter and stronger. And same for the sauna, it's hotter and stronger. Now there is different complications for like high blood pressure. We'll come to that. Then we've got compression therapy, PEMF therapy, and audiovisual therapy. So they're all de-stressing tools, trying to really calm down again the nervous system. But there's always benefits between detoxification, lymphatic drainage, pushing all the waste toxins out of the body, and just recovering again, pouring into that champagne fountain.
Yes.
And then lastly is our soul studio, where we do soul sessions. So that is breathwork, Pilates, yoga, and stretch class. So a lot going on.
Oh my goodness, you
That's
have
what I mean.
covered
When I
so
say
much.
it's cool, I'm like, it actually is cool.
No, it is. Because whenever I think of somewhere like Gadd Health and Wellness, you instantly think of something in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or New York or London. You don't think of Belfast.
And like we said before, like wellness is trending, and it's not that no one's going to copy us or no one's going to do it. We're all going to do it. We're all going to go into the wellness trend. And I'm so glad to see the health and fitness industry come back into actual health and fitness rather than it just be fitness as it's been for a lot of years. But I'm just glad that we're creating that change and we're allowing women to find a space that will look after them rather than them feel like they're going into gyms and they're just getting exhausted more and more by depleting their body from working out really hard. That there's now stuff there that it's like, clients will come in, they'll do a strength training session and they'll go up to yoga. And our yoga is very zen. It's more of like a restorative session. All our clients would say, yeah, we couldn't do a strength session into a normal kind of yoga class because that would be stimulatory. But this is very 80% floor work, lots of chill, bolsters, blankets, nice cozy stuff. Same with, breath work, or they'll go upstairs, they'll maybe get into the sauna or they'll do some compression therapy. And it's just bliss.
Sounds like absolute bliss.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I actually can't wait to see the rest of the building now. So the next time I'm down for my acupuncture, definitely
you'll
need
be
a
upstairs
tour.
now, so you can get a wee sneak
That's
peek
good.
anyway.
I can see it, and I can finally get to try flotation therapy now. Do you want to leave a lasting word of wisdom before you go? Anything that you'd love people to remember from this episode?
I guess it is just that champion fighting. Like, you are a better person when you fill up your cup, and that's in every aspect, whether it's a mom, a partner, whatever. And you might feel guilty for taking that time away from your children to go and work out, but actually you're probably empowering them as well. We have lots of clients that are like, oh, my mum goes to the gym. And it's so cool, like, just to hear they're inspired by that rather than it be, my mum goes to Slimming World. Like, be the change in lifting weights and getting strong and healthy and bulletproof.
Funny, whenever we put the gym in the house this year, and it was the best thing we did because we've done it, the kids come out and train with us.
Absolutely.
And my little boy, he's only 3 and he loves to show everybody his muscles, but he can replicate every move, whether it's a squat or a lunge or a bench press, and he has his little weights. They pick up on everything, so I love that.
I love teaching women like how to see their muscle as well, because then I'm like, go home and show your kid that.
Yes.
Like, Mom's got muscles. not a soft spongy belly no more. It's like, look at my biceps.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.